And we welcome you in to a week, and I mean, good Lord, is it a week? a episode 15 week, whatever in God's name week it is edition of Catching Up with Coach. If you don't mind, I'm actually going to get a little bit more light up in here, super quick. We were having a little bit of a power situation. See if that helps. How about that? How about that? Yeah, there we go. That's what we need. That's what we need. All right. We're here to kick tires and light fires, folks. You know how it is. You know how it is. Obviously, we appreciate each and every one of you who are watching us live, who will watch us live as a few of you get on up in here. And for those of you that watch us on delay, you know we certainly don't discriminate against our loved, beloved viewers. Y'all, a lot of you have been getting pretty active in the in the Twitter DMs. Some of you did not like the I guess it was maybe 2 episodes ago, because I was on a work conference last week, but I believe it was 2 weeks ago when we had some bets out there in the people streets that we might have mentioned on the show, and they did not hit. And they did not hit, and some of you were pissed. But that's okay, and we want you to keep us honest. We certainly don't want you to let us get the best of you here. But we are here. We are live. It is a Wednesday night. We are one day later than normal. I have truthfully needed each and every moment, hour, second, minute that I can get to kind of get my feet back from under me. And anytime I leave town, it's really difficult to get back, into like the flow of things, especially for me, like in what I do. Like it's very different for me to just jump out of my flow state, not to quote Future, but like in my flow state, to leave town, come back, and then I'm trying to get back right. So it kind of took me an extra day or so to put together like how I wanted this show to go, what I wanted to talk about, if I really wanted to get all the information that I needed in order to make the opinions. Because I mean, every every hour of every day that passes, there is something else that is happening in the college football landscape. Coach here, he's not going to be here. This team's going to fire this guy. I mean, we just added Auburn to the list, and it already looks like John Summerall is going to get a lot of run there. It seems as though we are kind of like settling in for you Tiger fans. It seems like we're settling in to the to the very lonely streets of, can we just win and maybe save face? Can we maybe go 8-4? Can we win it out? Um, it feels like if you don't win this weekend, it's going to be a really hard rest of the season. But you do have obviously 3 more games to get right. Obviously, with Arkansas coming into town, a early 11:45 kick. I cannot tell you whether or not I'm going to be in attendance to that game. If there's anybody looking for 2 tickets, hit me up. We can talk about it. I may go, I may not. I may go sit in a tree stand and get away from it a little bit. But and then obviously Western Kentucky after that, which will be next Saturday night, will be a night kickoff, and then we will follow it up on the road to end it out in Norman, Oklahoma. So if you're an LSU fan, obviously it's a grim, dreary atmosphere. A lot of you are pissed. I get it. A lot of you were, um, for lack of a better term, you are trying everything that you can do to remain. What I say this all the time. I am very much trying to remain a Christian watching this football team. Like it's hard, man. It's hard. But you have to seek the positives, especially in a time like this where you've now fired a coach, you fired an athletics director, you are in essence a new era. You are in a new moment in time in college football, especially college football, college athletics as a whole, but college football, where there is no rest for the weary. That no one's going to feel sorry for you because for a team like, I'll give you an example. A team like Ohio State finally figured out how to put it all together. Um, Obviously win the national championship last year. You have a freshman quarterback. You've got all the talent in the world, coming back around him. And yet here you are, you look every bit of the best team in college football. A team like that is not going to, give anyone you're not going to get a slap on the wrist from them. If LSU and Ohio State are looking to try to, and are looking to try to recruit the same kid, who do you think they want to go to if they're not from Louisiana? What if the kid's from, Raleigh, North Carolina, and he wants to go to Ohio State, South Carolina, or LSU? He's definitely not going to go to South Carolina right now. Not whenever Beamer's getting talked about with going to the Virginia Tech job to revise the Beamer name down there in Tech Town. Why would he want to go to LSU? If you're not a vested interest recruit, high school player, if you're not from Louisiana, you're not from the South, a neighboring state, why wouldn't you want to go to Ohio State, who seemingly has everything put together right now? Why wouldn't you want to go to Oregon? Why wouldn't you? I mean, I can think of 1,000 reasons why you wouldn't want to go to Oregon, one of which is because it's in like the North Damn Pole. But the other would be that you actually want to compete in the SEC, and that's really all you're standing on right now. When you're recruiting kids from across the nation, cornerbacks, linebackers, offensive tackles, a guard, a quarterback, whatever the case may be, from a different state, there are several Southeastern Conference football teams that get kids from those states that are going to have a lot of explaining to do over the next few weeks until the early signing day period of, look, stay with us. Like, we've got a vision, we've got a dream, like, let's stay together. And there's a lot that can be said for that. There can certainly be, a lot said for, I want to know who my coach is going to be. I just don't think that kids like you saw it 10 years ago are that tuned in with. I mean, they want to like the coach, but we just had a coach get fired at LSU that, I mean, for the vast majority of the players that meant something to the team, they didn't jive with BK. Now, I'm not saying the majority of them hated him, but he's not the reason why they went there. It's the Frank Wilsons of the world, their position coach of the world, the financial investment, the allure, the campus, it's the ability to not be that far away from your family. Funnily enough, some of these kids really do, like, flights matter. Drive into a football game matters. And so when you present me with the idea that there is a kid in the people streets that's 17 years old and in 1 year needs to predict where he's going to go to play college football, everything's all what and what, the money is going to be similar, the coaching staff, the position, you're probably going to play a little bit as a freshman, special teams, maybe you'll be a gunner on kickoff, but you're going to play as a sophomore, but you'll get the chance to play as a freshman. Do you not actually believe that a kid does not still want the ability for their family, whoever that might be, to have easy access to come to their football games? Any kid that doesn't want that does not have a massively strong, fan rooting interest for the teams. And I think you're seeing a lot less of that in college athletics nowadays because of the NIL piece. But listen, there are, go ask Colin Simmons, who is the star edge over there at the University of Texas. Go ask him how bad he wanted to go to LSU. Go ask him. Go hit him up on X. Go hit him up on X and say, hey, brother, how bad did you want to go to LSU? And why did you go to Texas? It wasn't because LSU wasn't paying him any kind of money at all. He had a family situation that wanted to keep him close home, and he loved Texas enough to want to be there. That's what it was. Speaking of X, hey, now, go give us a little shout out at the X handle at Russo and Goodman on X or Twitter. We still say Twitter. Sorry about it. I think that there's a lot that can be said though with the recruiting landscape, and we're not going to get into all of that right now, or certainly not tonight. There's a very, very long deep dive that we're going to go on the recruiting landscape as it gets closer to the early signing day. We will go through each and every one of those signing day commitments and actually signees rather, not commitments, and we will go through it for the LSU fans in the room. We certainly will, and for a fan of any other team, I'd be happy to want to go through and go through your signing class and go, who would I like? Who, if I were another team, who would I want to go and get? I'm happy to do it. So just drop your team in there in the comments, especially on YouTube once it's posted. If you're not here live, you could definitely comment still on the video. But it's 10 minutes in, and I don't want to go any further until I give a shout out to our friends over at Web Western. Guys, listen, I've been wearing their hat for weeks now. I've had several people ask me about it. Several people on Instagram, TikTok, X, like people are asking. These hats are sick, man. The founder is Dylan Webb. Dylan's an awesome guy. He in essence, it was like that for me to be a social media ambassador and sponsor for them. They're rad. I love them. I'm in no way ever going to be the type of person to say please buy this because it's cool or whatever the case may be. Like it's feasible and it's useful. And so to give you guys a little bit of a look as to what it is that they have to offer, here's a couple of their ones. I've actually got a pretty big majority of these. Let's see this one right here. I actually like this one a lot. And the reason for that is probably not for the reasons that you might think. The reasons why I like it quite a bit is because it's actually a really, really nice material. Not only is it a really nice material, but you can't sweat through them. The bills are magnetized. They float. They're water repellent. These hats are sick, man. The 3D antler logo, the forest camo, the polyester spandex blend. I mean, these guys are awesome. They've been giving us some pretty rad stuff. So if you guys are interested, go ahead and get a little Trey G10 code at checkout. That'll give you a little bit of a discount. If you're having any trouble, send me a screenshot. Hit me up on Instagram, or if you have our X handle, you can give us a DM there. That's code Trey G10 at checkout. And a new addition to the show, which I really, truthfully, wow, I had an incredible conversation with the owner of the one of the founders of this company. I can't say enough. God, this is in no way. This is a new one for everyone. For those of you that have been watching the show, a lot of you know that we talk about things that interest us. I am in no way the type of fella to just want to do shameless plugs or whatever the case may be. This one's a little bit different. So this is called Visor Vin, guys. Visor Vin is, for all intents and purposes, a car buying app. It is a website. There is an app if you've got an iPhone, Droid, whatever the case may be. And one of the founders, Craig, and I had a conversation. I just want to support this guy in every way possible. If you guys are looking for a new car, if you guys are looking for specificity as it relates to what exactly you are looking for, all you got to do, type it in there. I'm looking for, I'm looking for a Tundra. I want to go look for a Tundra. The amount of fetching that you can get using this website is incredible. It is parallel to the kind of thing that I was looking for a couple of years ago when I was buying a personal vehicle. I absolutely love Craig. Craig's awesome. I can continuously, for all intents and purposes, say that if this goes where I think, Craig and I are going to be talking a whole lot more and a whole lot more frequently, and not paid to say anything about either of those two companies. I'm not paid any money to shout them out, but two companies that have really, really done things the right way. I've spoken to them. They're awesome. So if you're buying a car or maybe something a whole lot less expensive and you want to go buy yourself some swag or some outdoor, gals, guys, doesn't matter. They've got something for you. Give our folks over at Web Western and at Visor .vin a shout and a look. Okay, a few minutes done past. Let's get right to it. You guys are wanting it. I've already got a few text messages of those of you that are getting a little bit impatient with me getting to it. So let's get right into it. What did we learn? What did we learn as it pertains to LSU and Alabama? First of all, what are you playing for? If you're Alabama, you're playing obviously for a spot in the college football playoff. I can't really say that I look at Alabama and see a team that is overwhelmingly dominant. They are certainly offensively dynamic, a little bit more one-dimensional than I was ready for them to be. But they're good, man. I mean, they listen. They are squeezing all the juice out of that orange, and they are really trying to put something together out there. And I don't really, I don't really blame LSU for coming out hot, smoking like a pistol on offense as far as running the football early and often, but too clunky. Too clunky. They fall 20-9, and Alabama ends up walking away with that one. What did we see? First and foremost, does this not sound familiar? An LSU football game has way too many mistakes made by LSU, forcing them to not take advantage of the opportunities given to outright win the football game. Hello, anybody. Ole Miss. Hello, anybody. Vanderbilt. Hello, anybody. Alabama. It's the same song and dance. At this point, you are what you are. You are an undisciplined, incredibly talented football team that is incapable of running the football consistently and effectively and not making crucial mistakes on the offensive line, such as to allow your quarterbacks to give you enough time to make plays down the field. And then when you do have enough time, you do not have consistency enough from the quarterback position to read through your progressions and deliver the ball to the playmakers in space. I counted three times from the TV copy. This is incredibly, by the way, I say this with all due respect to the players. They are better football players than I am. Clearly, I am a medical sales rep. But from the TV copy, you can watch hut, hike. Everyone goes down the field. Ball in the hands. Receiver, running back, receiver. You've got four options. Okay, four of them. Every now and again, you would get like a chip, and you would have like a tight end option. There was like one where Garrett kind of rolled out to the right and threw it over to Bauer Sharp. I thought that was one of my favorite plays of the game. I thought it was honestly one of my favorite plays of the year because it was rolling the defense to get moving. That's stuff that we have literally not seen all year. That is Michael Van Buren things that were done by Garrett Nussmeier. There were three different occasions in which I literally watched Xavier Thomas just run by him, and you just never got it there. You never did. So I texted one of my friends that was in the stands about 25, 30 rows up on the 38-yard line, 30, 35, 38-ish yard line. Great view. Have his phone recording. I mean, he's right here. And it is just like the only way that I can explain how it looked on the phone, because on TV, you're obviously watching it and then it goes out of screen. But when you watch the full play, and especially with phone cameras nowadays, when you watch the play of what Xavier did to these cornerbacks on these three specific plays that I'm talking about, it was like a Toyota Sienna and a Raptor just meet each other on the interstate. And the Ford Raptor just looked over and decided that he wasn't going to be behind them anymore, got over in the left lane and just never looked back. Like, that was the separation. That's the kind of separation that we saw last year with Barry Brown when he was at Kentucky, who is now on your team, and you're only throwing him screens. You're only giving him plays behind the line of scrimmage. That is what we saw Chris Hilton do to Oklahoma and Baylor at the end of the year, where you couldn't stop him. You couldn't stop him. One ball went his way. One. And it was a throw in traffic by Michael Van Buren. And he catches the ball, comes down with it, and you move on. Nick Anderson went down in this game. You threw the ball to Bauer Sharp. Trades Green had like literally two balls go his way. One, which was poorly overthrown, never even had a chance to go and get a jump ball in the end zone. And then one where it hit him right in the, really right in the Adam's apple. And really, it was, truth be told, right here in the middle of his like stomach and chest. And he should have caught it on the run, and he would still be running. They would have made it count for like 12 points because he was that open. And it was the best play call of the game, best play call of the season. No one was around him. It's hard to say the season because there's still plays yet to come. It was the most schemed open that I've seen a receiver be from this football team all year, inside your own 10-yard line, and you just throw a laser beam right at your best, what's supposed to be your best offensive player, and doesn't come up with the catch, and you punt the ball. It's mistakes like that. You don't see Xavier Thomas. Bauer Sharp fumbles yet again. Did I or did I not say on the last episode of Catching Up with Coach that I am done with the Bauer Sharp experiment? Again, this is not hating on him. I am absolutely certain that he and I would get along. I'm absolutely certain that he and I would be cordial and go to dinner and talk about stuff we like, probably hunting and fishing, probably football, probably get along with him on 17 different layers. Big homie's not the best tight end that you have. Trey Green is. And I have seen enough of Bauer Sharp to know that this isn't our best option. He doesn't block on the extra point or on the field goal rather. So you are left with a chip shot field goal, and for all intents and purposes, you're just waiting on him to miss it, because you know darn good and well that he didn't touch a single person on the play. And it's almost like Damian Ramos never looked at anyone but that side. It's like he went to kick it and then went, oh, and then missed it, because Bauer Sharp didn't even touch him. He ran directly around him, and Bauer Sharp never even saw him or touched him. It was, and when he did see him, it was already behind him. It was, and then followed it up with a fumble when you're driving on a converting down. The Michael Van Buren slide to convert on third down. It's the little things that you don't do. And despite how good Alabama is, and despite all the things that happen in the game, despite everything that I just said, you had the ball in a one-score game and had the ability to go down the field and tie it, but you got the ball stripped from you. Bama takes the ball, and that was the game, and the rest is history. So what did we learn exactly? What is it that we learned throughout this experience, throughout the last, the first Frank Wilson interim head coach game? Number one, the kids are going to play for Frank. They're playing hard. They didn't lose because they weren't playing hard. They lost because your offensive line is horrid, and you couldn't make the mistakes in situations where they didn't matter. You only made the mistakes in situations where they mattered the most. Converting downs, red zone, scoring opportunities. It capitalized itself and crystallized itself, I should say, in this game specifically. So what else do we learn? I learned that Ori Williams is your best right tackle. Jesus, the Nazarene, and the shoes upon his feet. Where in God's name was Ori Williams at when you were looking for a right tackle? Jesus, I mean, we have watched Weston Davis struggle all year. God bless Weston Davis. God bless him, because he's playing hard. He's trying. He is just not good at this point in time in his career. He has got all the ability in the world, all the physical ability in the world. He looks the part and is just getting tossed around. I mean, spun like a top every single time. Pause. Every single time someone wants to speed rush him, it is over with. And the bull rush, he manages to do a little bit better with. Ori Williams, big behind, gets in the game, who's all of like 7'13", gets up there. No one was getting past Ori. And even if they did get past him, he can do one of these numbers and like stretch his arm out and just and push him out the way. Bro, what in God's name were we thinking with that guy on the bench crushing Gatorade and creatine powder? Where has he been all season long? Oh my God. As soon as he went into the game, I had a text message from one of my friends, because he was clearly watching the game on a bigger screen than what I was watching, because from when he texted me, the camera view was at the same angle, and I didn't notice the jersey number change when it went from Weston to Ori. And he goes, Big O is on this thing? And I went, Big O is on this okay. Next play. Okay. And it was perpetual like confusion on how he could look that much better than the other option. Flawless? No. But better than the other option? Yes, sir. 100% yes, sir. Where has he been? You feel me? Carius Kern. For those of you that remember me beating the Carius Kern drum, I have said that he is a guard all this time. I don't even think he played that bad at left tackle. The play that everyone highlighted, which I wish that I could pull up, but there's like audio and I don't want to get copyrighted. Where he is pushing, and I don't remember if it was LT. I don't remember who it was or not. I don't remember who he was pushing, but the end is being pushed outside. Garrett is so frazzled up top that he doesn't even realize that he is being blocked perfectly, and to step up into the pocket and see Xavier Thomas yet again just in the end zone, never saw him. Spun his patented spin away and spun right into the tackle. And now instead of what should have been a scoring opportunity, or at minimum a converting down into the red zone, you are now field goal kicking the ball. So my suggestion would be start Ori Williams. And if that's the best that I'm going to get from Garrett, and if Michael Van Buren's ready to ruin his red shirt, you got to run Mike out there. Do I think that Garrett has some game left in him? Yes, I do. But is he obviously frazzled from getting his head kicked in all year? Yes. 100% yes. And I feel bad. I feel bad for him because I believe in the character of a kid that wants to be here. Yes, he got paid this year. I understand that. But Garrett wants to be here. He wants to be here for the right reasons. And for those of you that are off the Garrett Nussmeier train, sorry, I had to pick up my Oura ring. Shout out to the Queen for buying that for me last year for Christmas, y'all. They come great in football games when your ring tells you that you're on the brink of death because you're stressed. Love that. I love to see a person committed. And for those of you that are still with me, we got a handful of you in here watching right now. Think about what you do for a living. Think about what you do. I know what I do for a living. I'm in sales. I love people, love them. Now, they absolutely make me say things that I don't want to say on the interstate whenever they have nothing but reckless abandonment and no regard for my car ever. But people are really fun. People are great. I tend to get along with just about everybody, and I love them. Building relationships, driving people to want to be their best, motivation, positive reinforcement, like that. That is what I do. That is what I like. My job allows me to do that, so I do not wish to leave. I love my job. For those of you that are in your own job and have been there for quite some time, I've been at my company for 4 years now. For those of you that have been at your company for 5 years, 10, 15, 20, think about how long it felt like when you were in college and when you were in school. 4 years felt like a lifetime. Now think about 5. 5 years as a college student would feel like a literal eternity. That is how long Garrett Nussmeier has been at LSU. All the coaching staff changes, the quarterbacks coming in, the quarterbacks going out, and he has been through all of it. I have a soft spot in my heart for a kid that wants to be on your football team. But I am not so misplaced from this other place in my heart, which is I need to see this team win and I need to see what we can do. And I don't think at this particular moment in time, because of the offensive line struggles that you have had, I don't think that he is giving you all that he can give you until I can see something start happening at all. And maybe Ori Williams can help you there. Like maybe Ori is the missing link at right tackle. Maybe Kern can. This week you're playing Arkansas, who is literally the worst defense in the conference, if not absolutely the worst defense in the conference, and absolutely one of the worst defenses in the country. Well, it's helped by the fact that you're the worst offense in the SEC. So it's really, really difficult because you're going to see bad on bad when it comes to the LSU offense and defense, which we'll get to that in just a moment here with keys to victory. But you better score, and you better score a lot. I need to see Michael Van Buren too. Like he can give you the ability to get away from crap. He can run out of the pocket, scramble, throw on the run. You saw a little bit of that RPO action where you really don't know what he's going to do. Maybe it's going to be a screen. Maybe he keeps it and rolls in for 4 or 5 yards. The problem with Michael Van Buren is that he has happy feet. And what I mean by that is you can kind of tell in the pocket he's kind of doing this with his feet, tap, 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 tap. And it's kind of disappointing because you would expect like at least some of that to be hyped down after like the second or third drive, but he continued to have them. That's going to only get better with time. But you have to see what you have in Mike, because if you don't play him now, then he's ultimately going to transfer and ultimately go and give that to somebody else. And you need to see what you have in him. But that doesn't mean you take Garrett away. Let Garrett start. Let him see. If you're smoking and cooking, let him stay. But we've seen this already. Like, we've seen you, however many touchdowns you've scored this year, like 17, 8 of them have come against Southeastern Louisiana or, La Tech or whatever. There needs to be something to give you a spark. An 11:45 a.m. lunchtime morning kickoff with probably 60 or 70,000 people in the stands, moderately good weather, with a season that you've already got 4 losses. Can you maybe play to go to, Dallas or Houston, Nashville, whatever, Orlando, in a team that is playing for themselves and playing for pride? What can you give them? The answer is you better give them the kitchen sink. Excuse me. You better give them the kitchen sink. So that's what I saw. Right tackle, and I saw a quarterback. What else did I notice? Harlem Berry is your best running back right now. Sorry. Harlem Berry has the burst. Harlem Berry has the twist. Harlem Berry has the things that Caden Durham had last year before his injury, and I'm not quite sure that Caden is completely healed from that. I've kind of seen him be a lot more slow than I remember him being. But I think Harlem Berry needs to be your feature back and lead back going forward. And again, we've already touched on it, but I've seen enough of Bauer Sharp. I'm done there. The last 2 things that I want to see is I need to see Trey'Daz Green be involved again. Where the hell was he at? Where was he at? Who on Alabama was going to guard him? Who? What are you going to do? Play zone? Because you're definitely not going to play man. You going to double him? What are you going to do? You went to him twice. Twice. 3 times, actually, and he dropped all 3 of them. He dropped all 3 of them. And if he gets double, give it to this last key, which is Aaron Anderson. Y'all, Aaron Anderson came back into this game and was showing you why you missed him. God, I hope he comes back next year, because you've needed Aaron Anderson in a really, really desperate in a really, really desperate way. And I think this weekend against Arkansas, you're definitely going to need all hands on deck. So we'll get to that. But we're 33 minutes in, and before I go to our next key, I want to give a shout out. Give a shout out. You know who you are. Shout out to the Queen, obviously my perfect, wonderful better half, who is definitely watching right now. What's up, Peanut? Definitely want to give a shout out to a couple new people out here. Shout out to my boy Mike, Julie, and for those of you that are watching us that are new, definitely give us a like and share on YouTube. Give us a like and subscribe. And for those of you that don't know who those people are, it's okay. But a massive, massive shout out to my dog Amy. Shout out to everybody that has been a distant lover of the show and distant supporter of the show. We certainly love each and every one of you for that. Also, just wanted to say that I'm incredibly humbled and excited to continue to do this every week. Shout out to my boy Russo for giving me the platform and the opportunity to do it. Obviously, we will have our full episode tomorrow night with the Russo and Goodwin podcast, but giving me the ability to do the catching up with Coach here is certainly rad. It's awesome. I love to do it. The feedback's been great. The views have been kicking up. The subscribers are going up. And the more we build this, the more that we put this product out here for you guys and get you all involved in the program. We will do some giveaways and some fun stuff. But remember, the first giveaway is at 100 subscribers. Remember, 100. And and it might just be a little sponsored product that we've been talking about here for quite some time. But getting into the next couple pieces of the show, I really wanted to talk about just the college football landscape super quick, and then the LSU keys to a dub. So as it relates to the college football landscape and overall as we see it, it's kind of Ohio State and everybody else. I understand that Indiana has gone out there and really done a good job of taking care of business, doing the right things. I have a very, very difficult time seeing Indiana beating Ohio State. If they beat them once, that maybe they beat them in the Big Ten title game, but they're definitely not beating them twice. I think A&M has played a pretty weak SEC schedule. Literally, I literally think Texas A&M has beaten 5 teams that have changed their head coach this year. They've been graced with that, and I also think that in a year where Ole Miss doesn't have Bama on the schedule, it seems like the year where they've got to make it in. But you've got Ohio State, Indiana, A&M, Alabama, who I think is fraudulently up that high at 4. I do not think they're the 4th best team in college football, but they definitely are good enough to make this playoff and make a little bit of noise here. Followed by Georgia, Texas Tech, Ole Miss, Oregon, Notre Dame, Texas, Oklahoma, BYU. Just on the outside is Utah and Vandy. Now, what I will say pretty comfortably here is I do not want to hear the slander from anybody on the scheduling anything, because last year you had several different gifts on the schedule, and you didn't take advantage of them. You had gifts on the schedule this year and you didn't take advantage of them. So spare me the scheduling thing, but I am going to call balls and strikes on this show forever and always. But in a world where you are kind of beholden to the games that you've got, it is what it is. I also really think that there is a lot of, bleacher screams. My team deserves this, and dude, make it to the dance, get in there and get active. You don't need to be, we'll wait for the seedings once they start to talk about the rankings and who's where. You don't really need to scream and moan about where your team is ranked right now. Just get to the dance and let's move on. But I do think that this is a very, very odd year where there's really not one dominant team outside of maybe Ohio State. And it feels like even they can be susceptible at times. And so we'll see where it goes. But obviously, once we get the first official playoff rankings out there, we will, of course, be live and break it all down for you and give us our thoughts. But onward and upward. I don't want to make this too long, but onward and upward down to the keys to a dub. We do it every week. We do it every single week. You already know what it is. By the way, I shared it earlier. Give us a follow on the X, y'all. Russo and Goodwin. Give us a follow. Making some TikToks out here in the people streets. Most of them are at my expense, but they're funny as hell. Definitely go and give us a follow on the X handle. If you have not already liked and subscribed, please do that. It filters us up to the top of your algorithm on YouTube, and certainly helps us out on the program quite a bit. But keys to a victory, number one, and it's the most important one that I think of overall, I got to see Trey'Dez Green being involved again. He's been our key to a dub almost every week. No one can guard him. No one can. I don't understand why we're making this hard. Trey'Dez Green is the reason why NFL players look like they look in public, and he plays football. Like, you look at Trey'Dez Green and you see an Adonis of an athlete. Use him. I don't want to see him get thrown 3 passes. I need to see 10 targets. I need him to have 10 targets on 8 catches for, 86 yards. Like, that's what and like 2 touchdowns. That's what I need to see. I need to see you corral the quarterback. I don't want to see this Diego Pavia where you have no discipline in your run gap schemes. Taylor Green, Taylor Green is probably the most dangerous runner of the football from a quarterback perspective outside of, I honestly think he's a better runner than Lenore Sellers when he's on. But the fact that he's inconsistent gives you the ability to know that you have a chance. But when Taylor Green is on, Taylor Green is awesome. And that offense is smoking. Smoking. 88 miles per hour in a DeLorean outside of a Sears. Smoking, cuz. And they're going to score. They're going to score. You're not going to keep them from scoring. You're not. You are not going to keep them from scoring. They are scoring. Bobby Petrino and his neck brace is going to get his. You feel me? I'm telling you, it's happening. So if you're gonna corral Taylor Green, you have to have help from your linebackers. If they scheme your Devon Keys out in coverage, you better get ahead of the football and you better keep everything underneath you. Play some cover 3, play some zone. Keep it in front of you. Do not get in a one-on-one foot race. You will not win. I actually wrote this a little bit more different than what I can share on the show because this is a family show. So I'll say it this way. I need you to throw that thing. Throw it. I need you to pass the pill like a shady pharmacist. I mean, toss it. Listen, with a defense this bad, if you don't throw the football for over 300 yards this game, you're never going to. You're not going to throw it over. You're not going to throw it for more than 300 yards in this year if you do not throw it on this defense. If you don't have 400 yards of offense, I'm going to be very disappointed. 350 at the minimum. If this game ends up like 13-17, I'm literally going to cry. I'm going to fire up the stream next Tuesday and I'm going to weep disgustingly on this webcam. This better not be a 17-13 football game. This better be hair on fire in a muscle tank with dry scoop pre-workout, sweating every moment of every football play. That is what I need to see from this offense. You have got to throw the football. Run the ball, obviously, because you have to establish the run on this defense, and you better establish the run. Hello, Harlem Berry. Can I get 15 touches, please? But you better throw that thing. And I mean, throw it. Throw it. Left, right, counterclockwise, clockwise, up, down, toss right, toss left, throw it. Screens, bubble screens, tunnel screens, over the middle. Which brings me to my next point. I literally think that I can count on one hand the amount of times that I've seen the ball be thrown over the middle, completed for more than 5 yards this year on this LSU football team. Whoever wrote this playbook to not have plays over the middle of the field deserve to have their mouths spit in, because I can't understand how you can develop a game plan in the year of our Lord 2025 that do not consist of passing plays over the middle of the field. Guys, I literally have seen people bail on their assigned route and just in the middle of the field and wait. And we're not even looking because we don't even know. We don't even expect people to be there. Like our quarterbacks don't even look at that side. It's either right hash, left hash, right line of scrimmage, left line of scrimmage, or hand the ball left and right. There is no middle passing game at all. Zero. In 2019, you literally set up a tent camp in the middle of the field and lived in that thing. Lived there. I mean, lived there, and it is just evaporated from life in 2025. Please, for the sake of all that is good and Catholic and Christian and whatever religion that you belong to, you name the religion, fire them into the chat. Whatever you pray to, pray that we throw the ball over the middle of the field, because if you don't, I swear to God, I'm going to crash out. And last but certainly not least, can anyone stand up? Anybody? I said this on the last episode. If you've got a game to burn, if you've got red shirt games to burn, if you've got a desire, if you want to be a player, if you want to be the person that you set out to be when you left high school and you said, I'm going to go be a football player, I'm going to be the best that I can be for their benefit, my benefit, whatever your benefit reason is, to buy my mama a house, to pay my way through school, to get me a good job someday, whether it's playing football or selling insurance, whatever the case may be. If you have the ability to play at this level and on this football team, if you are not tapping Frank Wilson on the shoulder and saying, Coach, let me play, then shame on you. Shame on you. You're in a broken season. You fired the athletics director. You fired the football coach. You're in a freaking lawsuit battle right now, by the way, which we can get to on tomorrow's show. You have got literally everything burning around you. The only thing that matters is your play. The only thing that matters is winning and screwing somebody else out of their season. So go beat the hell out of Arkansas. Go beat Western Kentucky and hand them their $1 million Venmo and let them get on their way. And let them get on their way back to Kentucky where it's cold. And then when you go to Norman, go beat them on the road and say, JK, you don't get to go to the playoff this year. Sorry about it. Like, that's what you're playing for. You're playing for pride. Playing for the fella next to you. Play for your respect. Like, that's all I want to see, because I have zero interest in seeing us helplessly and aimlessly just wander across the field and have a false start every time the crowd gets a louder decibel over 80. Like, it's ridiculous. It is literally ridiculous. And I know we didn't get into it, which is Block Out the Noise, which was about the Brian Kelly and their Jesus. They are going through way too many things over at LSU right now. We're going to cover that on tomorrow's show, because I really want to get Russo's reaction to that. But for those of you that are listening, for those of you that aren't going to listen, we've got a lot to discuss and cover, which we can only go 45 minutes deep tonight because I've got to get rolling here. But that's what I want to see. That's what I want to be presented as a full plated meal. And I deserve, as a fan, you deserve as a fan to see it be played through. You know what I'm saying? Like, we deserve to want that for the kids, but the kids have to want it. And they do. And they obviously do. They want it for Frank. They want it for themselves. They want to win. And I think they're going to play hard. And that's why I think that they're going to go out and put together a good football game on Saturday. We're not really prepared to pick against the spread or on the number over or under yet, but we likely will by tomorrow afternoon. But that's what I want to see. And not to, jump off. I want to jump off the soapbox here because I do want to wrap this up. There's just a lot happening, but the one thing that you can control is how you show up. So go do it. And that's going to put a bow on our show for the afternoon. Thank you for all of those that are here watching. Thank you for those that are giving us the video on delay. Obviously, the delay views are going to be super, super high, and they've been kicking up, averaging about 80 to 100-ish viewers per episode on the good kickups. Hopefully last trip out of town for the rest of the year for me. We'll be back on the road in January. But definitely here for the long haul for the next, kind of like, 4 or 5 weeks or so until the end of the year, when I take some breaks and vacation for myself and go sit quietly in the deer stand. But we're here to talk about it. We're going to be here tomorrow night. We love each and every one of you. Thank you for everybody that has been, supporting our show, giving us love, supporting our brands, buying the merch, doing everything, man. Like, y'all are sick. Shout out to our folks over at Web Western and over at Visor Vin. Loved each of those people. We're super, super awesome folks, and incredibly blessed to just be here and to be able to do this, y'all, because this is ultimately a job. Like, this is a job. It's not a chore, but it's a lot of fun. And we love it. We love you, and we will catch you all in the next one. Appreciate it. Peace and love.